Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily if you are new. Today we're standing for the video, trying all sorts of different backgrounds until I find one that I like. Today I want to talk about working at a buy-sell trade store and how that has influenced or changed my perspective on how I resell, how I do what I do now for a living. It definitely gave me more insight, and I think day-to-day affects what I do in my current job. So I kind of wanted to share some of the insight with you and give you some little tips and tricks on how to make more money when you bring things to stores like Buffalo Exchange, Plato's Closets, Crossroads, all those sorts of buy-sell trade stores. So let's get started. So I actually just filmed a live video with Denali. Her channel is El Ducho, and I'll have that video and her channel link down below so you can check that one out. That one's like an hour long, so if you're listing or photographing and just need something to listen to, it's quite a fun video. And I talk about a lot of this stuff quicker and like with less detail, but some of this is new. So as I said, I worked at a buy-sell trade store for about 8 months. I ran their social media at this specific store for about 5 of those months. So I was only a retail sales associate for about probably 4 or 3, depending on like the real actual dates that I worked there that I do not remember. I worked there 2 years ago, and I learned quite a bit of helpful little things. So before I get started, I also want to say that this might not be 100% accurate for your exact store. I don't know what varies for different locations, but I have 2 stores near me, and even they differ in a few things. So take it with a grain of salt and maybe ask your buy-sell trade stores their policies or certain things about what I say to make sure that this applies to your store also. The biggest question I think I hear is, why doesn't Plato's Closet or Buffalo Exchange or Crossroads, why don't they take my stuff? Why are they selling this old ugly stuff and not this brand new great stuff that I'm bringing in? For a lot of reasons. One, a lot of the people that bring in clothes to a buy-sell trade store are cleaning out their closet. They're getting rid of stuff they don't want, stuff that doesn't fit them, stuff that's too worn, stuff that's not on trend. And if chances are good, if you don't want it, they don't want it. They want to buy stuff that's going to sell. So if you clean out your closet and you find these maybe brand name shirts, but they're all worn and they're all not in the best condition, they're not going to want it either. So be intentional with what you're bringing in. You know, you want to make sure that it's on trend, it's a good brand. Make sure it doesn't smell, make sure it is in good condition, make sure it, you know, isn't like slouchy, you know, that commercial, the V-neck or somewhere like a U-neck, they don't want that. Make sure it's taken care of. Another thing to keep in mind when bringing stuff in is who's shopping there. So I think this goes for all Plato's Closets, buy-sell trade stores. They all have a specific outreach or a specific market of who they're selling to. For the store that I worked at, it was 13 to 26-ish was the age range to keep in mind as we were going through buys, because that's who was shopping at the store. So those are the items that are going to sell. At my store, you weren't supposed to buy an Eddie Bauer, no Ann Taylor loft, because it was too mature and didn't resonate with 13-year-olds, right? So keep that in mind as you're bringing stuff in, of who are they trying to sell to, what items are selling. You know, I'm sure at other locations they probably do buy those, and at other stores they probably buy those, but at the specific store I worked at, those were some no brands. Along with that, you could be bringing in the best, brand new, perfect, on-trend, great stuff, but if their back stock is full, they won't take it. I mentioned this in the video with Denali that it really just all depends on their back stock and what they're full of. So even if it's about to be summer and you have this perfect, super on-trend, say brand new tag Zara dress or Topshop dress or whatever, they may not take it just because their back stock of dresses is full. What I mean by that is they've bought in so many dresses that are sitting in the warehouse or in the storage unit or whatever you use to store your inventory. It's sitting there and it's full, and they need to sell more before they bring those in so that they can buy more to put in the warehouse to sell, if that makes sense. So I would say bring in stuff more than once. Absolutely always bring it in more than once, because even though they're trained by the same set of rules and they all have the same knowledge, people's opinions still differ, and I may think a shirt is really ugly and the other employees may think it's really cute and they may buy it in. So it really depends on who's buying. There are specific things nobody will buy in, and there are specific things I'm sure everybody would buy in, but I would absolutely recommend bringing it in more than once, because everybody's opinions differ, and the more you bring it in, the more chance there are to buy it. Now, if you've been bringing the same stuff in for a year, maybe edit it down and take out the stuff that you know they won't sell. Along with that, they don't want junk. They don't want your old high school t-shirts. They don't want leggings that have holes in them. They don't want super worn, ugly things. They want what's gonna sell, and that's what they're gonna buy, is stuff that's selling. So one thing to do that's really helpful is to call ahead, and you can ask what their buy needs are. That is as simple as it sounds. It's what they are buying right now, what their needs are in their back stock, but they don't have a lot of. Those are their buy needs. So if you just call and ask, they may say, oh, we need dresses, we need shorts, we need summer clothes, we need winter coats. Like, they buy all seasons all year round. At least the one that I worked at did. So it's really helpful to call ahead and ask. They post it, a lot of them post it on their Instagram now. Following them on Instagram is also a really great thing because they announce sales. A lot of them do giveaways and stuff like that. So it's helpful to follow them and see what they're needing, what they're doing, the new stuff that comes into the store. But anyway, that's a different story. Calling ahead is really helpful because they can tell you exactly what they want and exactly what they don't want, and then you can save the stuff that they're not buying right now and bring it in next time, or the next time that they're needing it. And then that'll help you A, take in less clothing at a time, and B, the chances of them buying it are much higher if they actually want it. So a lot of stores actually have a limit on how much you can bring in. One of the ones close to me has a 2-bag limit, like you can only bring in 2 bags. I think they can be any size, but they don't want more than 2 bags. Because if you think about it, their counter space, or their behind the counter space, isn't big. So if they have 10 people waiting for a buy, or for somebody to go through their buy, they have like 40 bags. I mean, that's extreme, but you know what I mean? Like, the more people and the more bags that they bring in, the less room they have to actually do anything. So I would also call and ask and see if they have a limit on how much you can bring in. I think that's more of a new thing, but it might be helpful. And you could put like all the good stuff that you think they're gonna take in there, and then like come back in a week or 2 or however often you want and try this other stuff. I would say those are some of my bigger tips: are take your stuff in more than once, and call ahead and see what their buy needs are. Another thing to keep in mind when you're bringing stuff in and expecting to get paid is this is a business, so they're taking a financial risk by paying you for your clothing that they're then gonna have to store, hang, and eventually sell to make money. So they're taking the financial risk by paying you. So really what matters and affects your buy is smell. Is the biggest one. If the bag smells like anything, if it just smells old, if it smells like cigarettes, if it smells like anything in specific, like strongly, the whole bag is a no. And what they'll tell you is bring it back and rewash it, because it's not that the items weren't good, it's that they couldn't even look through it because there was too strong of a smell. Next to smell, I would say the condition is like the second most important thing, because you could have a brand new item, but if it's in not good condition, or if it's worn or like slouchy or like it doesn't fit how it's supposed to anymore, like they don't want to sell it. They want to sell what's new, current, and gently used, but in good condition still. I would say those two matter more than the brand. The brand is great, the brand matters a little bit, I'd say, but they'll also sell like no-name brands or even stuff without the tag. So like the brand isn't like the most crucial part, it's definitely the condition and the style and the smell. In terms of the style, they want what's been in the mall in the past year to year and a half. So they want those newer tags, like the newer labels. They want what's in. I would also say to shop around there, and you don't necessarily have to buy anything by any means, but I would look at their racks and I would look at what they're selling and like what's on their currently trending rack, what's on their spring styles rack. I don't know if they all have those, but they all usually highlight some certain styles of what's selling really well for them and what's really popular just in general. So I would look at those, and then chances are if you're bringing in something that's relatively similar to those, they'll probably take it. For pricing, I also want to quickly say how it works is they say they sell stuff for 70% off of retail. So with that in mind, if you bring in a $100 shirt, they're gonna sell it for 70% off of that at $30. And then you get a third of what they sell it for. So they will give you $10 for that $100 shirt, which a lot of people don't realize, and they don't understand why they're not getting paid a lot. it goes back to it's a business and that's how they make their money. So they buy stuff that sells for them. Just like us resellers, or if you're not a reseller, I'm sure you still get it, they buy what's gonna sell. You know, they're not gonna buy this Topshop shirt just because it's Topshop and it's really cute. They're gonna buy it because it's a style that sells for them. And their age range, I think I said this earlier, or I said it in the live video with Denali, I'm getting them mixed up now. Their age range is 13 to like 26 or around that. So that's what you're keeping in mind when you're buying. So what is a 13-year-old gonna wanna buy? An inexpensive shirt, not necessarily a name brand. As this generation gets older, I think they care more about brands, but in general, they're looking more for like cheap or inexpensive items that are cute and on trend. That's what they're gonna buy from you. Also going along with pricing, a lot of people don't also know this, is that a computer generates the price. The employees have no control, or they might, but as far as I know, they can't adjust or edit the price. You get an item and then you go over to the computer system and input all the details, and it prints you out a label. So all that you have control over is clicking like, there's 3 options, like okay, good, or awesome, perfect condition. Like you click one of those based on obviously the condition of the item, and then you just get printed a tag. So if it's okay condition, it's not going to be as much of a payout as if it's perfect condition, because the item just isn't up to par with perfect, you know what I mean? So it's updated relatively often. I don't know how often, haven't worked there in 2 years, I don't really remember all those details, but there is a company that goes in and edits like new brands, if brands somehow like got more expensive, or you know, like it adjusts as the times go on and updates. I always recommend washing the stuff before you bring it in, just because it eliminates or lessens the chances of them returning your stuff because there was a smell. And as I said earlier, if there's a smell, like we just can't go through it, or I guess I don't want to anymore. They just can't go through it, and they can't look through any of the bag because it'll all smell like that. So I asked on Instagram if you guys had any questions, and one of the big questions was, how do you guys know what's on trend, or how do you know what to buy? How do you know what's gonna sell? I don't know if this applies to all of these types of stores, but this specific one I worked at, we actually had to go to the mall. We were really close to the mall, like across the street, so that might have been part of the reason. But we would have to go into the mall once a month, and we had packets to fill out of what was on trend, what was being highlighted at the front of the store, what was on the mannequins, what was on the walls, what was being put into clearance, what they were like highlighting and focusing on. And then we also had to go online to like department stores like Nordstrom and see what they were highlighting, what was in the top categories like men's or women's or athletic, get to see what they were highlighting to know what we should highlight and what we should be buying. That was kind of how they stayed on top of us knowing what was on trend and what to be buying and what not to be buying. So in terms of when you bring items in and the people that go through them are called buyers, that is actually a lengthy process to become a buyer. You have to go through training for a little bit, and then you have to take a test, like a real test, to prove that you like know enough knowledge about brands and wear and styles to be a buyer, and you actually get certified in buying. So I don't remember what I was just saying, I got interrupted. You have to be qualified to be a buyer, so that's not a simple, easy, like right away thing. When you get hired, there are lots of steps, and that's like one of the last ones. I also got a lot of questions about like, do employees have first dibs? Do you guys get to save stuff for you? The answer is no. We have to wait, I think, 2 or 3 days before you can buy something, and that's very unfortunate and annoying when you're like working there and you see all this cute stuff and you can't buy it. But you then get 30% off. So if the item is still there and you still want it, your employee discount is 30%, which is lovely considering this is a used clothing store and stuff's not that expensive to begin with. So I do really miss that 30% off. So I hope that answers some of your questions at least, and I hope it was a little bit helpful. If you have any more questions, I would love to answer them in the comments. But again, call ahead, ask what they're buying, wash your stuff before you bring it in, and bring it in more than once. Even if it's just twice. It just depends on who's going through your buy, the day it is, and what they have in their back stock. So just because something wasn't bought the first time you took it in doesn't mean it won't be the next time. So it's definitely worth a try to bring it in more than once. But yeah, that is all I have for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will again have the live video I did with Denali listed down below. I think it's about an hour. So if you need something to watch while you list or photograph, it's a great option. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Social media. Oh my gosh, you scared me.
He did it.
Who?
He ate 6 dozen.
Oh my gosh, is he gonna like die?
No.
Okay, I'm filming a video.
Hi.
No, it's not live.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't have that much storage on my phone.
No, go ahead.
No! I don't remember what I was saying.